Stef Schrader, journalist, race car driver, 944 Lemons racer. And this is her daily, a 2010 Mitsubishi Lancer GTS.
My boy.
When the first Lancer was born in February of 1973, the world was just 8 short months away from the dawning of the Arab oil embargo. No, we will never stop talking about this. It was the last gasp of cars as anyone had originally known them. The typical engine on a Chevrolet Caprice was a 6.5-liter V8, for example, and a Chevy Impala from the same pre-embargo era had a fuel economy of a measly 15 miles per gallon highway. But when the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries declared an oil embargo, everything changed. Those big, heavy gas-guzzling domestics fell out of favor, and suddenly smaller imports were all the rage. And like so many, that's how Mitsubishi got its foothold in the United States through the Galant, or the captured Dodge Colt. In a sense, Mitsubishi was ahead of the curve, almost having anticipated the change in the market by putting this car into production before the embargo actually hit. As the Lancer was meant to be a missing link between the smaller Minica key car, Minica, oh man, and the bigger Galant. The Lancer would go on to have a fairly distinguished rally legacy, starting with the 1600 GSR, which claimed multiple wins at the Safari Rally in East Africa and the Southern Cross Rally in New South Wales, Australia. Flash forward 37 years. Now we have a sport back, because apparently Mitsubishi has a problem with the words hatchback and sedan, which is what this is. I'm sorry, get over it. In the same way the Dodge Avenger was styled to look like the Charger, the lower trim Lancers retain the styling of the unhinged, boozed up, Easter communion, belching in church, pissing himself, stealing the wine from the church kitchen, Uncle Evo 10. Because bad influences are the best influences. But fish face Sutter home sucking mouths on every Lancer doesn't mean performance. DE and ES models had the commuter-friendly 4B11 double-cam 2-liter engine making 152 peak horsepower. The Lancer GTS, the trim level you're looking at here, has a larger displacement 2.4-liter 4B12 engine making 168 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 167 pound-feet of torque at 4,100 RPM. The Maybach 4B12 also has a compression ratio of 10.5 to 1. Mitsubishi also handed out this engine to the 2008 Citroën C Crosser and the 2008 Peugeot 4007. But the 4B12, for as good as it was as an everyday performance motor, was not above modern Mitsubishi cheapness though, because the water pump's impeller is plastic. Great. That'll be good for longevity. Mitsubishi, the Chrysler of Japan. It's like listening to songs for Silverman. You know Ben Folds is getting divorced again, but it's still a good album. It's almost a shame that this is around the era where Mitsubishi started to become cheap, in a Velveeta shells and cheese kind of way. Without the Evo, Mitsubishi was basically eating Kraft dinner with calories emptier than Al Capone's vault. This is the official car of your ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. The one she won't stop complaining about because she's clearly in love with the guy. A relationship that's sadder than a urinal without enough water pressure to flush the pee, let alone move that wad of gum in there. It just makes the piss rise. Of the 4 cars I drove at Harris Hill, the Lancer GTS was the most frightening, because it feels and rolls and tilts like an everyday commuter car, but it has that little extra torque bump. You're not strapped in with a 5 or 6 point harness like I was in the Porsche Sharkworks. And also, this car has a CVT transmission, which is redundant, I know. Continuously variable transmission. That was a Homestar Runner reference. Which meant, anytime I wasn't braking, my right foot was meant to be pressing the accelerator pedal into the floor mat. And that is a wicked, sinful feeling. A corner charged up in real time, and my pits were sweating, and my crotch was crying, and Stef was laughing at me.
Just keep your foot in it. No, keep your foot in it.
For more power?
Yeah, more power.
Braking?
Nope.
No braking?
No braking. Don't brake through here. All right.
I kind of coasted that.
That's okay. You're still kind of getting the line. Brake now.
Brake now?
Brake now. Brake now.
Brake more?
Brake more. Brake more. Well, don't brake more.
Keep your foot down. Come on. Don't brake yet, she guffawed.
Just kind of aim towards that as you add throttle. Floor it.
Then lift?
Don't lift.
Oh, sorry.
Never lift in this car. Brake, brake, brake. Yeah.
I'm coasting now. Now I'm braking in the middle of the turn, which is wrong.
This is wrong. This is, oh gosh, very wrong if you were in the GT3.
No, I'm a good boy, I cried. I'm good. I want to be good. I want to drive like a good boy. Good boys go slow. See, growing up, I wasn't a smart student, not honors or AP material, like most of my friends in marching band. I wasn't studious enough to be in the honor classes like the truly good students. If I couldn't be a good academic student, I could at least be a good behaved student. So I would sit up front in class. My book would be open on my desk to the chapter we were on, and my homework was out, placed face up next to my textbook. A mechanical pencil was already in my hand as I waited for the teacher to come in the room. My feet were flat on the floor, and I wasn't talking. My eyes were locked forward. See how good I am, teacher? I know I have a 71 average in your class, but I'm good, right? I'm not talking like everybody else. I'm not walking around and dropping eraser chunks in the heater. I'm good, right? I'm not a problem for you. I'm good. Will you give me a pity C+? So on the track, Stef Schrader, Nugget, and Monica became my teachers, and I wanted to be good according to the rules of what I thought good is in my head. But on a racetrack, you're good if you're bad. Accelerate hard. Brake hard. Turn in and fuck your tires. And inside this Mitsubishi commuter car, it felt like I was gonna crash because I had the desktop background in front of me. The car's interior was the interior of a car that gets mangled in a crash. Car crashes happen all the time in cars like these, and I'm sitting in one and I'm driving it poorly. I'm not driving it like a good boy drives along a track, and Stef Schrader is laughing at me.
Brake?
Nope.
You're serious? I freaked out.
Should I go out with the Lancer and just kind of...
Oh, I don't want to die.
No, you won't die. You won't die.
The Lancer's plain interior is a blank canvas for an Armageddon mural I was sure I was about to paint with Stef's daily. But I pressed on and lived. And after I got out, I looked at the car and it reminded me of Stunt by Bare Naked Ladies. You know, you're listening to 1 week, you're having a good time, and you think, this is just some alt-rock pop style stuff. And then you get to call and answer and it hits you like musical buckshot. And you suddenly realize there might be more to this experience than you originally thought. It's not that bad, really. The Mitsubishi Lancer GTS is how Leia described her mother in Return of the Jedi. In a way, it's beautiful, but also kind of sad. Like the hometown you clawed your way out of. The type of place where schools go out of business. It was once a town, but now it's just a place where people live. And you're not really trying to go back there. To the relatable dysfunction of long-held family grudges about life partners. To old classmates who ask what you've been up to since the 5-year. But they don't care to hear the answer any more than you care to give it. To the performative virtue of people who want to be seen giving money to the homeless slumped over at crosswalks rather than just passing them a $5 and moving on. To recreational arguments over whether they're called lightning bugs or fireflies. The Lancer is Mitsubishi, writ small. It's your hometown. It's not what it used to be, and it's doubtful it ever will be again, but that vague familiarity keeps you locked in your seat, giving it a chance, praying that maybe things will be different. Things will be like you remembered.
My boy, 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 my boy.